It is an honor. Seb, did you get my little slide? Oh, there she is. Okay. It is my honor to introduce who many call the mother of the gay rights movement, Barbara Gittings. I will tell you, this person is someone, to be quite honest with you, I had never even heard of. When Manasa asked me to present this morning for the Pride moment, my first thoughts were, I'm gonna do Sally Ride. I'm gonna do Billie Jean King. I'm gonna do Ellen DeGeneres. The list went on. Those ladies would have been an impactful choice for this morning, but for many, many reasons. But also, they're household names. And I wanted to bring somebody up this morning, and I wanted to choose this person who I had never heard of, because somehow she earned the title of the mother of the gay rights movement. And she was one of the most impactful and iconic lesbians of the day. Barbara Gittings was born in 1932 and died in 2007. She was born in Vienna, Austria, where her father was serving as a United States diplomat. At the outbreak of World War II, her family moved back to the States and settled in Wilmington, Delaware. Barbara was aware at a young age of her attraction to girls, but she never, ever even heard the word homosexual until she was rejected for membership into the National Honor Society in high school, because one teacher claimed that she had homosexual inclinations. She still didn't even know what it meant. After high school, she enrolled in Northwestern University and developed a close relationship with another female student. Rumors began that the two were lesbians. At that point, she began to examine her own sexuality. This prompted her to meet with a psychiatrist who offered to cure her. Confused, she began to do her own research and surprisingly found very little about it. But what she did find in the libraries or wherever she could find described homosexuals as deviants. To assist her education at this point in time, all she could really find were novels that she could read to give herself some information on homosexuality. As her father found one of her novels in her bedroom, he instructed her to burn it. So Barbara decided that she was going to take a night course in abnormal psychology to see if there was any truth to what people were saying. She was on her quest to discover more about the disease, or the so-called deviance, or whatever she needed to see if she really truly needed to be cured, as the psychiatrist told her. Her quest for research took her all over the United States, where many times her mode of transportation was hitchhiking. She traveled to New York City, she visited gay bars, she went to California. Finally, she was introduced to an organization called the Daughters of Bilitis, or called DOB. DOB was the very first lesbian civil and political rights organization ever in the United States. Thus her beginnings to ultimately earning the title of the mother of the gay rights movement. She was on a mission. She was asked to start a chapter of DOB in New York City. Her work with the DOB led her in so many different areas. She became the editor of the DOB magazine called The Ladder. Unfortunately, as she was editing, most of the articles written by doctors, psychiatrists, and many medical professionals, even in that magazine, were speaking negatively about homosexuality. However, she did run across an article that she was editing that was written by Frank, Kameny, which offered a different perspective and viewpoint that said homosexuality was not a sickness or a mental illness. Her exposure to this quite different point of view led her in the direction of activism for LGBT rights in the United States. And as you might say, the rest is history. In 1965, she marched her very first picket lines at the White House, the State Department, the Independence Hall, to protest the federal government's policy on discrimination of homosexuals. By 1967, she co-counseled hearings held by the Department of Defense to discredit expert witnesses who were testifying that homosexuals could be converted to heterosexuals. She made hundreds of appearances as a speaker in the late 60s, continuing her mission to continue and teach the public that homosexuality was not an illness. She continued through the 70s as an activist, and finally in 1970 she appeared on the Phil Donahue Show as one of the first lesbians to ever appear on television. Finally, a glorious day for many. In December of 1973, the American Psychiatric Association officially removed homosexuality from the list of mental disorders, thus marked a significant step toward LGBTQ plus rights and equality. I'm almost done. In 1999, Gittings was honored for her contributions to the LGBT movement. She was many times described as the Rosa Parks of the gay and lesbian civil rights movement. She received many awards throughout her later life and also after her death for other acts of heroism in activism for gay rights. In 2006, she received the first John E. Fryer, MD, Award from the American Psychiatric Association. In 2006, the Smithsonian Institution acquired a sign that she carried while picketing in 1965. In 2007, she was recognized on the list of 40 favorite gay and lesbian heroes. In 2012, after her death, the city of Philadelphia named a section of Locust Street the Barbara Gittings Way in her memory. She was one of the inaugural 50 American pioneers, trailblazers, and heroes inducted on to the National LGBTQ plus Wall of Honor within the Stonewall National Monument. In my opinion, perhaps one of her greatest and most impactful legacies in her quest was to remove homosexuality classification as a mental illness. Oh, to be the Rosa Parks of the gay and lesbian civil rights movement. What a powerful lady she was, Barbara Gittings. And I don't know if Ellen DeGeneres, I don't know if Billie Jean King, I don't know, if Sally Ride ever made the cover of Time, but Barbara Gittings did. Thank you.